Should you lower your price when someone says you are too expensive? Find out on this episode of Authentic Selling TV. Money, 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 money. You know, I used to be so naive about money. I used to say to people, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you all this, I have got great boundaries when it comes to money. And what I meant by that was, I'm really clean and clear that if you don't pay, I can't show up for your coaching session. I'm really clean and clear on this is what the investment is. No, we can't lower the price. And in some ways, the online world has made me less confident rather than more confident. You know, in a previous episode, we talked about kind of how I dealt with Blake, my husband, around when he's had, you know, not that he doesn't believe in me and believe in my business, but when he didn't get what I was doing. And I feel like I allowed my confidence to just sort of disappear for a while. And I'm not proud of that, by the way. As a strong, feminine, you know, personality, I'm not proud of that. But anyway, the point here is I believed that I had really clean boundaries around money. And I do still think I have pretty good boundaries around money. However, what I've noticed is I have become more aware of my own limiting beliefs around money and my own issues with money. I've realized how icky it can be when your relationship with money is off. So I am the person who will not pay myself for 2 years straight, but pay everybody else. Literally, I might not be able to pay my bills, but everybody else is going to get paid. And that's not what this is about. But the point here is I didn't realize how awful money issues could feel until I discovered that I had some of my own. So your relationship with money is obviously very important, right? I mean, you're making money, you're selling things, obviously very important. Where this gets really complicated is because in the online world, it is so full of incredibly generous people who want to do fabulous things for their customers because you want to change their lives, because you want to improve their experience with whatever you work around. And so the first thing we're going to talk about as far as your relationship with money is, well, even if you think you got great money boundaries, and even if you think you got a great relationship with money, just know if you're like me and it starts to creep on up on you, get some money love coaching, get some money mindset coaching, because even if you think you got great stuff, if it starts to creep, not a place you want to be. The next place we want to talk about is with pricing. It is not a fun feeling when you hear about an incredible product or service or car or house or necklace or steak or whatever that you want, and you don't feel like you don't feel like you can afford to pay for it. So on the consumer side, that's not a fun place to be, right? On the other side of that conversation, it's not a fun place to be either. When you're selling something and somebody says, I'd love to, you're the person that I have been looking for. I wish I'd found you before I invested $50,000 with other people because I feel like you can really help me, but I just don't have the money. And I'm asked all the time, should I lower my prices? And while you are the CEO of your business and you get to decide, do you lower your prices? Do you keep them? There's some things to think through here. We have a pricing policy as a company that is basically we don't discount prices. Now, have there been exceptions to that? Yes, we did a customer appreciation event on Thanksgiving one year and I loved it. We gave everybody a discount off everything. But we don't typically discount prices. And that's because it hurts my heart to discount prices. Let me tell you what I mean by that. It would feel absolutely terrible if customer A paid full price. Customer B said, I can't pay for this. I really want to work with you. Is there anything you can do? And I'm like, sure, I'll take $5,000 off. Then customer A found out about it. Like, that's not a place you want to be in. If you want to keep your business dealings, especially with money, clean, and that's not clean. I feel like it's disrespectful to lower the investment in most scenarios, so there are always exceptions to this, but in most scenarios, I feel like it's disrespectful to lower the investment to all the people who have paid that. I also feel like it's a great way for you, the provider of the service, to get bitter. Because I have had more than one occasion where I have broken my own rule, I have crossed my own boundary, and lowered the investment. Most of this was pretty early on. I can remember this woman burst into tears on a sales call and said, I have been just dying to work with you. I know you're the person who can help me. I don't have that kind of money. My husband will never let me pay that kind of money. And I think the investment was $15,000, so it was no small chunk of change. I lowered her investment to $7,500, and a month later, she took a trip to Thailand. Now, that trip to Thailand may have already been booked, but was it true that she didn't have the money? I don't know, but to me, that felt like it wasn't the truth. If you can pay to go to Thailand, then probably you could have paid my full price. That creates a dynamic in a coaching relationship you don't want. Anytime you're feeling bitter, you need to stop and examine, where is this coming from? And money will make you bitter in a relationship if you are upside down faster than anything. Let me say that again. Money will make you bitter in a coaching relationship if you're upside down faster than anything. What do I mean by upside down? If you are giving more than you're getting. I see people do this all the time. So I talk a lot about desperate energy for money attracts desperate energy for money. And when you're desperate for money, there can be this scarcity mindset that comes in. And believe me, I understand that. And I know how icky, sleazy, slimy, gross that can feel. And it's just like, I gotta make money. I gotta make money now, right? But when you lower your investment because you need to make money now, you gotta make sure that you're not giving so much away that you're bitter. Because when you get bitter, then people don't get results, and it just creates a chain reaction in your business. You also need to make sure that you have the time to continue to sell full price things at a later date. So money, the point I'm making here is your relationship with money and whatever's going on in your life really can affect the overall health of your business and your ability to sell. You know, desperate energy for money attracts desperate energy for money. Discounting your price and then somebody booking a trip to Thailand doesn't feel too good. There's another side of this money discussion, which is, can I really charge that much? And just because I can, should I? And you know, there are lots of conversations about there are no shoulds, right? Should is just someone's opinion. But that's where the guardrail tool really comes in handy is not the right word. That's where the guardrail tool really gives you a system to make a decision. So let me tell you what I mean. I was working earlier last year on a one-on-one coaching experience. Some of you may have heard me talk about it. It was called the Power Mind. And I was so excited about all the deliverables of the Power Mind. It was a rock solid experience, y'all. We were bringing in just this acclaimed, fabulous director to shoot pictures of y'all, to make a video. I was going to help you write some sales stuff. Shelly was going to help you get your ops in order. Like, it was great. And I have no problem with people getting paid what they're worth, whatever that is. But as we started adding up all things that this was going to be included in this Power Mind, I was like, I have to go out and sell this. And I've got to look at somebody and say, the investment is X. And every bone in my body is like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And so I was bumping up against my pricing guardrail. It doesn't matter. I laugh about this story now, but when I raised my prices to $1,997, I had the hardest time getting that out. Maybe it's because I talk really slow. Well, I don't talk slow, but maybe it's because of my accent. It was like $1,997. I'm like, oh, forget it. It's $2,000. Like, it just felt cheaper when I said $2,000. So there's all this psychology of money stuff. So there's not a lot of rules and regulations in the coaching industry about pricing. You know, in corporate America, we talk about price gouging and all of these things, but it's a pretty unregulated industry in the wild, wild west online. And I'll be honest, I hear about what people are charging from time to time and think, who in the world is paying that? Like, I just don't get it. But that's none of my business. So I need to keep my nose out of other people's business. And so I always come back to this. And so this entire episode is about, it's a discussion about your relationship with money. And I'm giving you, different examples of where the money conversation comes into play. There are a lot. Should you lower your prices? I think that answer is no. Are there exceptions to that? Yeah. If you're desperate for money, maybe, but I think there's a right way to do that and a strategy to do it. So how much should you charge? Just because you can charge $100,000, should you charge $100,000? Like, there are all these questions that come up. And what I have to come back to when I am discussing or working through my own relationship with money is this. Everybody else's money is none of my business. What other coaches and consultants are charging is none of my business. People will say, well, don't you need to be like price fair market value? Yes, but in the coaching industry, I don't think there is a fair market value. I mean, how can one person charge $100,000 and somebody else charge $2,000 and they do virtually the same thing? I mean, it hurts my brain a little bit. So everybody else's money is none of my business. That includes the customer who says she can't afford, or he or they can't afford my product or my services. It's not a fun place to be. And I can have empathy for that because I know what it's like to see something that I want that I feel like I can't afford, but I'm not going to have sympathy for it. And the difference between sympathy and empathy is pretty big when we talk about money. Empathy in this scenario is I understand. I have been in that situation myself. It's not a fun place to be. Here's the advice I would give you about that. Sympathy is, I am so sorry. I feel sorry that you're in this situation. I feel like I might somehow in some whack way be responsible, although I don't know what that is, maybe because I'm charging these prices, and so I'm going to discount it for you. So we want to lead with empathy, which is acknowledge and understand, but not sympathy. Sympathy is not good for the person on the other end of the call, and it's not good for you. So when I say your customer's money is none of your business, I could talk about this for hours. I have all kinds of tools about this. I can prove to you that that is a fact. But this episode's about relationship with money. So you need to catch yourself. Are you leading with sympathy or are you leading with empathy? We want to lead with empathy. And that's one of the things that the tools for overcoming objections that Authentic Selling has does for people. It allows you to say, hey, thanks for sharing that with me. I understand what it's like to see a product or service that you feel like could radically shift your business and yet feel like you can't afford it. I have been there. It's not a fun place to be. Another way of looking at this is blah, 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 blah. Or here's what I did in that situation. I don't get into your money. I don't tell you how you can't afford it. I don't tell you to give up your freaking Starbucks. I don't shame you. I don't tell you that if it was really important to you, you'd find a way. I don't tell you to open up a Same as Cash credit card. I don't want that kind of conversation. It's not my business. So, for the love of money, in your relationship with money, know that even if you're clean with money, even if you've got great boundaries with money, running a business and selling your own stuff is going to push that for you. And you may uncover, I got some deep-seated issues I didn't know here. Work those. Don't let those fester and grow. If the first time you notice it, get some help with that. The second thing is when someone asks you to lower your price because you're too expensive. Have empathy, not sympathy. We're not going to lower our price because that's not really fair to everybody else who paid full price. And also, we don't want to set you up to be in a relationship where you're bitter, where you're not being compensated, where your customer's taking a trip to Thailand and you're like, wait, what? You couldn't, what's happening here? That feels gross to me. So protect yourself so that you can show up and be the best coach you know how to be, or the best consultant, or whatever. The next thing to remember in your relationship with money is other people's money is none of your business. And this includes what other people are charging. So just because you can charge $500,000, should you charge $500,000, you need to answer that for yourself until such time that our industry becomes more regulated. Keep your nose out of what they're charging. It never leads to a good place. It either leads to you feeling bad about yourself, to you wondering why you can't charge that much, to you being judgy, like, what the hell are they paying for? Like, seriously? Who's paying that? Just stay out. And on the flip side, stay out of your customers' money as well. And the final thing to leave you with as far as your relationship with money is making money and helping others does not have to be mutually exclusive. So, you know, wherever you fall on your feelings about money or how clean you are with money, there is this, especially for women. And granted, I can only speak to my experience as a woman. I'm a woman. I've never experienced what this is like for a man, but it appears to me that women struggle with this more. And it's like this altruistic thing where if I'm helping you, I can't charge you for it because charging for it devalues it in some way. It makes something wrong with me. That's a bad story. And Mo Williams, who is the author of a children's book that I love, says if you ever find yourself in the wrong story, leave. That's a story you need to leave. Like, it is not true. Making money and helping others is not mutually exclusive. I can tell y'all plenty of people that have changed my life that I do not begrudge paying a lot of money to. And have people helped me for free? Sure, they have. That's not the point. So if money starts to feel like this, like, oh, I'm hot, it doesn't fit, remember, you can help people. You can be generous. You can give and still get paid very well to do it. There's nothing wrong with you for wanting to make a great living for yourself and for your family. For more practical, tactical, and even some mindset, dare I say, I'm a little bit afraid of that, tips about how to grow your business, but really what we do here is teach you how to find and close customers and how to make more money. Ring the bell below. Sing it with me. Ring that bell. I need a mic to hold. Ring the bell. And I believe in you and I believe in your business. Bye, y'all.